All right, guys, welcome to another episode of Next Level Lifestyles, where we feature various locations, realtors, and lifestyles worldwide. Today, here with me, I have Felicia Mares. Welcome, Felicia. How are you?
Thank you, Alexa. I'm good. I'm so excited to be here.
Did I give you like an accent that you don't really have, like the Mares? Like how do
No,
you
you're actually saying it correctly. A lot of people pronounce it Maris, which is fine, but it's actually Maris. So thank you for that.
My pleasure, darling. There's nothing like a shimmy, shimmy, shake on a Monday morning. All right. So Felicia is actually a realtor with Abio Properties in Oakland, California. And I'm just so grateful to have you here today, Felicia. You and I had met because we're both Realtor Magazine 30 Under 30 alumni. I believe we're the same class, right?
2019?
Yeah.
Yes, 2019. Okay. I always forget what class is which, and
I know. This giant blend of all the classes. But no, I remember when I first met you, I think it was mid-year, NAR mid-year in DC. And we were it was the YPN meeting, right, that they would have. And I remember hearing you speak and I was like, this girl, I'm like, she's so authentic and her like cool and professional, but I just love how you show up as yourself. And you're just an inspiration.
I spent a lot of time volunteering in the associations. I just actually got named. I just got a phone call 2 days ago because I'm going to be the YPN chair for the state of California. So, which is a huge honor. Our state YPN is huge. It does a lot of stuff. So I have a big year ahead of me. I will also be 2022 president-elect for my local association. So yeah, I'm doing a lot of stuff there. So I'm pretty busy. And I'm recently engaged. So just throw on a wedding on top of all of that. It's going to be a great 2022.
Listen, I really believe like all the momentum's happening when it should, as it should. It's a wild ride. Just buckle up, throw your hands up, maybe scream a little bit. You know, it's going to be great.
Yeah, I'm on the roller coaster for sure.
No doubt. So speaking of the roller coaster, before you were on this real estate career, aka roller coaster ride, what were you doing prior to and why did you get in the business?
I love this question because it's always so interesting to see like people come from all different kinds of walks of life and then they somehow end up in real estate. So before I got into real estate, I was a nanny. I did that for many years. I was a professional nanny, worked for this amazing family in Oakland, helped raise two beautiful, smart, strong, beautiful little girls. And when they started growing up to the point where they were going to to elementary school, I was like, okay, I probably need to find something else to do. These girls don't need me as much. Like they only need me to help get them to school and do some after school care. So what else can I do to supplement? And one of their neighbors is my current broker. So he became my broker, my mentor. We were at like a neighborhood party and I was like, hey, I'm gonna get my real estate license and I'm gonna come and work for you.
No, I mean, listen, we do make a good income. We get what we put in a lot of ways. I really believe that. Oh, I love the cat. My dog's also with me, so believe me, I get it. But I really do believe that you get what you put into this business. And as long as you're centered around the right why, remembering the people that you're serving, whether, you know, it's the individual going through their specific scenario, but also remembering your why as far as like your family. I'll never forget, Felicia, when I saw you made this beautiful post, and it was just a post about how this career and how hard you've worked has been able to allow you to pay it forward. For instance, I think it was like your cousin or something, you're able to help out and like,
oh, well, there's been multiple situations.
Oh, see how beautiful.
Yeah, and it is. And it really is. Like I come from a really big family. So my mom was one of 15. So I have a lot of aunts, a lot of uncles, a lot of cousins. And it's really exciting because now whenever I'm at a family party, people ask me questions, you know, they're like, hey, I want to buy a house someday. And I'm like, cool, you can do that. And so helping my family get to that point is a huge part of this. I've helped one of my cousins purchase a property. Right now I have another cousin looking. So that's really great.
Did you grow up in the Oakland area?
Yeah, so I grew up in a smaller city, not far from Oakland. It's about 12 miles away, called Richmond, California. Maybe you've heard of it, maybe you haven't. It's pretty small. There was one movie about Richmond called Coach Carter. So if you've seen that movie, that is my city. And so that's where I grew up. Coach Carter isn't completely accurate in terms of the school. However, the culture of the city, pretty accurate. So if you wanted to see where I grew up, go ahead and watch that movie and then chat with me about it. But yeah, so I grew up there, went to UC Davis, which is in a small little country town, which is completely different from where I was raised. So I got a lot of that culture shock when I went to college and was like, whoa, this is a small town. This is what this feels like. Like, this is so weird. People talk to each other on the street. Like, growing up, I was always like, don't talk to me. You know, you get to where you're going. You're like very aware. It's very urban setting. Going and living in a small town was like culture shock. But then immediately after I graduated from college, I came and lived in Oakland and was a nanny there for many years and lived in Oakland for about a decade. And the biggest thing that I get when people are moving here from out of state is, can I even afford to buy anything? Because they understand the prices here are ridiculous. And I'm not gonna lie to you, they are high compared to a lot of other places. Like, I hear about other states and I'm like, geez Louise, like, but I grew up here, so it's a little bit more normal to me. But when I hear how low the prices are, and I know it's expensive for the area, right? Like, I think all of the markets this year have like increased exponentially, and it's all relative, right? Like, I might go to your market and be like, whoa, this is high for this market, right? So, so it's, people come to me and they're like, can I even afford anything? And so what I usually do is I say, okay, well, you want to spend $850,000. I'm going to show you what that can buy, what has sold in the last 6 months. Here's an example. If you hate all these houses, like, sorry, it is what it is. That's the prices here, right? So it's a lot about navigating those price points. And it can be a shock for people.
I'm sure there's a lot bringing people to the area, like you said, the tech industry, all the jobs, the proximity to San Fran. What are we looking at for like a commute?
Yeah, so it varies. Like, during the pandemic, it hasn't been bad, right? Because a lot of people have been working from home. So, you know, there are people who live on the outskirts like me. I live in a very small town and most of my work is in Oakland. And so that drive for me is about 30 minutes. To get from Oakland to San Francisco, 20 to 30 minutes, it's super close. You do have to go over a bridge, which means you do have to pay toll. But you can also take the BART, which it's a train that goes under the ocean, which is pretty cool. But, you know, it's not the most efficient system. So a lot of people do drive, which means we do have a lot of traffic. So sometimes getting to the city can take an hour and a half, just depends. It's crazy. It can go anywhere between like 20 minutes to an hour and a half. So there's like some small towns that have just blown up over the pandemic because people want space, people want backyards, and the affordability has just gone out the window, right? So people are like, where can I go? Where can I afford a bigger house with more space, with that office so I can work from home, with the yard so I could get the dog, you know, all those things. So I'm a little bit worried that when things open up again and things become back to normal and everybody's like out at restaurants and all of that, and we've been pretty strict here, right? Like, we were locked down. Like, there was no leaving the house, nothing was open, like, you don't go anywhere. So I think that caused us to move further and further out. And so when things open back up, I'm a little concerned that the values in those smaller areas might go down a little bit. I'm a little worried about that.
Wait a minute. So Connecticut, we obviously have a lot of snow and this and that, but you know, where you guys are kind of in the middle of the.
What's cool about where we live is that the weather is pretty stable. It's usually 75 degrees. You know, it's very stable throughout the year. The problem is we don't get a lot of rain, so we do go through droughts. We do have a fire season, right, where there are fires happening in the forest. The smoke travels here, and so we have low air quality. That is the biggest negative thing I can say about our weather here, is that the winds carry all the smoke from the fires to our area, and we can't really go outside during that time. However, we don't have, where I live, we don't have snow, we hardly have rain. It's very even keel. The good thing too is that you can drive a few hours in any direction and have a different weather. Like, you can drive 3 hours to Tahoe and be in the snow, right? And you can go snowboarding at some of the best like resorts ever. And so we're close enough to those like weather things that if you want to experience weather, you can go and drive and experience weather. However, if you just stay at home, you're probably chilling. Most of the people here are not from here. So like you will fit right in with all the people who also don't know where anything is and, and are learning it for the first time, because that's what we are. We're just an area where people want to be. And so we have a large population coming in from other states, and you'll make friends. It'll be fine. You can call me and I'll hang out with you.
I was gonna say, Felicia's offering not only her real estate services, but also her friendship.
Yeah,
definitely take her up on that one, guys. Definitely take her up on that one.
That's great. I should actually put that on my website. Like, not only offering real estate services, but my friendship too. It does come along with it. Being a client of mine, like, sorry, but we're gonna be friends.
Client for life. Like, it's all about relationships, right?
Totally.
Great. All right. So for anyone that wants to connect with you, where can they find you, Felicia?
You already know Instagram is my favorite place on the internet. So hit me up. My handle is at fel.mares. That is at fel.modest, my last name. Come be friends with me on there. I would love to chat with you guys. And Alexa, thank you so much for having me. This has been like I feel like I'm gonna have a really great day today, because I started the conversation off like just having a great combo with a girlfriend. Like, oh, this is a great way to start the day. So thank you.
Well, thank you. You always brighten up my day. You always brighten up the room with that California sunshine. You just, you really pull that in. You put that out into the world.
That's
so thank
great.
you for shining bright, my friend.
Oh, thanks, girl.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us for another episode of Next Level Lifestyles, connecting you with locations, realtors, and lifestyles worldwide. Thank you, Felicia.
Thank you.